By spring 2009, Jackson was preparing for the biggest comeback of his career. 50 sold-out shows in London, billed as "This Is It." He was rehearsing late into the night, sometimes thin and shaky, but still capable of moving like the performer the world remembered. To manage his chronic insomnia, he had a personal physician living with him. Dr. Conrad Murray paid a reported $150,000 a month. His job was simple: keep Jackson healthy enough to perform. What actually happened behind that bedroom door most nights is where the story gets murky. By Murray's own account, he arrived around midnight on June 25th. Jackson was anxious about sleep, worried he wouldn't have the strength to rehearse. Murray says he gave sedative after sedative through the night. None of it worked. Jackson, he claimed, kept asking for milk, his nickname for propofol, an anesthetic normally reserved for surgery. Around 10:40 a.m., Murray says he finally gave in. Here's the first gap. Murray claimed he stayed at Jackson's bedside the whole time after that. But phone records tell a different story. Logs later shown in court placed Murray on a call with a girlfriend starting around 11:18 a.m., a call lasting nearly 45 minutes. For that stretch, Jackson, under a surgical anesthetic with no monitoring equipment in the room, was essentially alone. When Murray said he found Jackson not breathing, prosecutors argued the timeline didn't add up. 2 minutes, like Murray claimed, or closer to 20. Murray didn't call 911 right away. Witnesses say he first called the house, then had an assistant and a security guard come help. The 911 call didn't go out until 12:21 p.m. When paramedics arrived, Jackson was still on the bed, not the floor. Unusual, since CPR works far better on a firm surface. Some call it evidence the scene was arranged before help came. There was no IV line in place despite Murray's claim of a continuous drip. So how much propofol had Jackson actually been given, and when? Paramedics worked on him at the house for over 40 minutes, then rushed him to UCLA, arriving at 1:13 p.m. Doctors continued for another hour. At 2:26 p.m., Michael Jackson was pronounced dead. The coroner ruled it acute propofol intoxication, with other sedatives as contributing factors. But the amount in his system stunned toxicologists. Far more than any home caregiver without surgical monitoring gear should ever administer outside a hospital. Murray had no crash cart, no defibrillator, no properly connected pulse oximeter, and by his own admission, no real medical justification for using a surgical anesthetic to treat insomnia at home. Conrad Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter in 2011 and served 2 years of a 4-year sentence. But conviction didn't answer everything. Who supplied that much propofol, enough by some estimates to run an operating room for days? Why did the home security footage never fully surface? Why did Murray's timeline shift, in small but telling ways, between his police interview and his trial testimony? And if Jackson had reportedly been asking for propofol by name for weeks, why did no one step in sooner? 15 years later, the cause of death is settled. But the exact sequence of that final morning, the minutes, the doses, the moment help was truly needed, may never be fully known. Sometimes the most haunting mysteries aren't about what we don't know at all. They're about the minutes we almost know, sitting just behind a locked door, a missing phone call, a story that changes slightly every time it's told.